Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the New York Market Color session. It's so good to have each and every one of you around for this session. It's just going to be a recap of the analysis we had earlier today and to see what price has done so far. So on the DXY on the monthly time frame, we have seen that price is quite bearish overall. We saw a bullish move, but then we saw a sweep of this liquidity and move push to moves to the downside. I beg your pardon. On the weekly time frame also, we're seeing more push and moves to the downside. Price has been stalling for a period of time on the weekly time frame, but this is what we expect to see in the long run. We expect to see price retrace all the way back into the left shoulder at 107.581. Right, so this is what we want to see price do, for price to retrace right back into 107.581. And once price gets there, I'm willing to continue the sell on DXY. On the daily time frame also, coming right here, the most recent price action, left shoulder at 98.314, sweep to the upside, break to the downside. All we want to see is for price to, trade right back into this left shoulder and react off that level. Right, so price just tapped into this level and we're seeing some reaction from off that point. And on the 4-hour time frame also, on the 4-hour time frame, we're even seeing that structures to the upside, minor structure to the upside, and we've seen a retracement. Coming down to the 1-hour time frame, we actually spotted some point of interest as to where we want to take the buy of the DXY from earlier today. Shoulder at this level, 55 spots. Shoulder at 97.258, sweep right here, break to the upside. We are looking out for price to return right back into the left shoulder at 97.252 on the 1-hour time frame and down to the 15 minutes time frame. Pretty much the same thing. This is what we were speculating earlier today, that we wanted to see price retracing right back into the left shoulder at 97.252 on the 15 minutes time frame. Now to Euro USD. Euro USD, the monthly time frame as seen right here, we actually saw that price had swept liquidity and we have seen that price has pushed all the way to this premium level. And of course, at premium, we expect some reaction down to the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, price has really been stalling for a period of time, but overall, we are anticipating that price should retrace at least into 1.06819, because there's the classic box pattern right here, shoulder, sweep, break to the upside, break to the upside. So we want to see price retracing right back into 1.06819 on the weekly time frame, long term, of course. And on the daily time frame also, we can actually spot the classic box pattern for a buy right here, shoulder at 1.15503, I beg your pardon, sweep to the downside, break to the upside. So we want to see price retrace right back into this left shoulder at 1.15503. But seeing that price is, still at this level and has not approached the left shoulder, let's see what the 4-hour time frame is doing. On the 4-hour time frame, structure is actually to the downside, minor structure. We're seeing price breaking lower, right? We're seeing that the overall market is bearish, right, on the 4-hour time frame. So we will be looking out for entry signatures on the 1-hour time frame also, right here. So this is where we marked that we wanted to see price trading to early this morning during the London market color session. Shoulder at 1.17424, sweep to the upside, break to the downside. Price has tapped into this left shoulder, and I really hope that we were on our chart to see that price has, tapped into the price point we're looking out for to take the opportunity. It's not too late to enter though, because price is still stalling at that level. So if you're here to enter the sell of Euro USD, now is actually a good time to pull the trigger for a sell on Euro USD. And even on the 15 minutes time frame, shoulder at one spot 17424, sweep to the upside rather, break to the downside. Price has retraced and traded into this left shoulder. So now is actually a good point to take your sell of Euro USD if you're not already in it. If you have questions at this point, please do well to type in the chat box. Let's see what GBP USD is doing. On the monthly time frame, overall bearish, right? And then we saw that this most recent price action is actually bullish. So we saw price take out the high at one spot 33690, and it traded into a premium level. So we're expecting that after an expansion, there should be a retracement, right? So seeing that price at premium, we expect a bit of a retracement, which is a sell-off, so to say. And on the weekly time frame also, on the weekly time frame, price is at premium as we've established from the monthly time frame. And I can actually see the classic box pattern entry for a buy, shoulder at one spot 25004, sweep to the downside, break to the upside. Once price retraces right back into this left shoulder at one spot 25004, I will be willing to pull the trigger. This is long term, of course. If you're a swing trader, you could actually, wait for this to happen, or you could even be in the sell opportunity, catching the retracement until price gets to the left shoulder before you, pull the trigger for a buy. Long term, of course, it will take a long time for price to get there. And on daily time frame also for GBP USD, the classic box pattern that I have been calling out for a period of time now, shoulder at one spot 33678, sweep right here, and then eventual break to the upside. Price has actually returned into this left shoulder on the weekly daily time frame. I beg your pardon. And then we saw some reaction of that level, but then price has failed, or price hasn't taken out this high right now. All we're seeing is some sort of formation of a lower high right here at one spot 34766. So on the 4-hour time frame, let's also see what price has done on the 4-hour time frame. Price just tapped into this high right here, into this resistance point, and has been stalling off that level. On the 1-hour time frame, pretty much what we are seeing is the classic box pattern for a sell, shoulder at one spot 34876, sweep right here to the upside, break to the downside. We are actually speculating that price should retrace into the left shoulder at one spot 34876, and that is yet to happen on GBP USD, but we have seen it take place on Euro USD. So we're going to have to wait maybe into next week to see if price does this, and if that happens, I will be willing to short GBP USD. Please, if you have questions at this point or different bias from everything that has been said, kindly type in the chat box. My colleague will be coming up right after now for his analysis on gold and yen. If you have questions, a different bias from what has been analyzed on DXY, GBP USD, and Euro USD, please feel free to type in the chat box. Feel free to type in the chat box. And while you're doing that, registration for the FX Bootcamp training October edition is currently ongoing. You can send us a message on 081 6099 5030 for more information on how to go about the registration. And also, we have the Falcon 2.0 bot leasing service. It's also open. For more information on how to go about subscribing for it, please send us a message on 081 6099 5030. If there are no questions, We'll be going on a very brief break, and later on we'll be coming up for his analysis on gold and the end basket. Cheers and God bless.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the Market Scholar, brought to you by the Value Flow Trading Team. So this afternoon, we are going to be having a recap of what we had so far during the London session for the New York right now. So for the precious metal, just as we said this morning, that's it, very much in the bullish trend, right? Everything is still moving all the way to the upside. However, today being Friday, we were expecting some level of pullback for the precious metal after the sell-off of yesterday. And if you can see the chart well, we are going to observe that price is gradually approaching our POI for the sell. And the sell is not just going to be a long-term one, it's just to scalp and get your 1:2. And if you look at it from the 15-minute time frame, you are going to observe the entry that we have here, price approaching the fair value gap, and also which has a correlation with the left shoulder. And if price get to this level and you don't see your entry signature first, which is the bearish engulfing for yourself this afternoon, you may want to wait and see price, come closer to the other block level here. So this is going to be our entry 2, while this is our first entry 1, just at this shoulder level that we have here. So, and with that, we have our SL just above the all-time high that we have already stopped here. So that is that for the precious metal. And if you want to trim down to the lower time frame too, looking at the 5-minute time frame. So when price get to our POI and 5 minutes, just try and sell all the way to the low of the Asian low. Or better still, if you want to, because today being Friday, if you want to take out your first level, then make sure you take it out somewhere around this level, as this is giving us another signature for the buy push to the upside if price get to this level. When price gets here on 5 minutes, there's high tendency. We see some level of price reaction at that particular point, this particular shoulder here, and which is simply telling us that on 5 minutes we have price coming to do this if all things being equal. That is structure within structure, right? So we see price coming to take out liquidity. But first, let it enter our POI first, then can easily short to this level, and just when price gets here, you will break even of yourself and then look for any other move you want to take at this particular point. All right, so that is that for the precious metal on 15-minute time frame, 5 minutes, and even the higher time frame. As buyers for today is just a pullback from the massive buy since the opening of the week. All right, let's quickly move to Japan to see what is going on the yen basket, and we use that to determine what is going to be our verdict on the other yen correlated pair. All right, for the yen basket today, we expect that the yen basket should rally a bit to take out liquidity at this point and begin to sell. Why? Because we already see our boss strategy playing out here. We've seen the shoulder here, and before the break of structure, we see how that price created liquidity, which has a confluence with the Asian high and then the Asian low broke structure. So we are expecting that price should rally to take out this liquidity point and will begin to sell from that level all the way to the downside. And if you look at it from the 4-hour time frame, we are going to observe too that we are still expecting price to come all the way back down. Even from the 4-hour approach, we see yes, some level of market structure shift around this side, but we still expect price to come and sell all the way, take out this liquidity point here and tap into this left shoulder that we have here. If by any means we are going to experience a buy of the yen for next week. All right, so that is that for the yen basket, which is telling us that because we're expecting a buy to sell on the yen basket, then we should look out for a sell to buy on the yen correlated pair. All right, so for GBP, JPY, our analysis this morning is still that price has not really taken out this high, which is on the 1-hour time frame. So we expect that price should take out this high, then we should see a pullback into the 15-minute level that we have here. Then we can now begin to run buy all the way back up. Why? Because this is the shoulder from our 15-minute time frame, just as you can see. So we're expecting price to, maybe it wants to sell first before doing that. As you can see, price broke structure within at this point. So we expect price to do this, tap into this region, then we start buying all the way. But since the New York open right now, and also remember, we did not have the news that ought to put much more liquidity, to inject much more liquidity into the market is not up for today. All right, so we still expect much push to the downside and we start buying from this level. If it did not happen today, then hopefully on Monday at the open of the market for the Asian session, we are most likely going to see price play this out for us on the 1-hour time frame, and which has confirmation on our 15-minute time frame. But for Euro GPY, just as we said this morning, it already printed its own move, and if you look at it from the 1-hour time frame, you already see the market structure shift. You look at it even from this zone all the way here, you can see how that price took out this liquidity points and built and market structure shift happened, and price has really come back there to take out that level, and this happens to be the buy since yesterday all the way up. But right now, what exactly is going on the Euro JPY? For Euro JPY, just as I said, we've seen it broke structure to the upside, so we are still expecting price to still sell all the way to this zone. Then when price get to this point, we can now begin to look for opportunity to long all the way to the upside, which is going to be this, and our SL will be this low, and we have our entry somewhere around this point. So that's about 25 feet or so, 25 feet, and you are catching your 1:2. All right, so that is the outlook for Euro JPY, GBP JPY, or for the precious metal. If there's any question, you can easily type in the chat box, and if there is none, this is going to be the end of the market color for this week, brought to you by the Value Flow Trading team. For the remaining hours for the market to close, make sure you trade cautiously and use your proper risk management strategy. Once again, like and share. See you next week, Monday. Cheers and God bless.